Her story, the one who walks the yard. I never thought I'd be able to buy a house at such a low price, especially in the suburbs outside of Spokane, Washington. It was a single-story home with a wide backyard, surrounded by old pines and a rickety wooden fence. It felt too good to be true, and maybe it was. The real estate agent said the previous owner had moved out suddenly, but I didn't care. I just wanted my own place, somewhere quiet. For the first few nights, everything was fine. I unpacked, set up my furniture, and began settling in. It felt peaceful. But on the fourth night, something changed. I woke up around 3 in the morning and went to the kitchen to grab some water. When I glanced out the back window, I froze. There were muddy footprints across my yard. Human, but wrong. The toes were long, and the gait was uneven, like someone crawling or limping. I convinced myself it was an animal, or maybe even kids messing around. I didn't have a dog, so I bought motion lights and installed them all around the backyard. The next night, I was ready. At exactly 3 a.m., the lights blinked on. I jumped out of bed and ran to the window. There was something, standing in the yard. It was shaped like a person, but twisted. Its limbs were long, its back arched unnaturally. It dropped to all fours and began to scurry across the lawn with jerky, insect-like movements. My heart stopped when I saw what it was holding, a black wooden cross. I stumbled backward, nearly falling. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at, but I knew I had to leave. I grabbed my keys, my phone. But then I heard it. Tap, 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 on the glass of my living room window. I couldn't breathe. My legs moved before my brain could think. I ran to the back room, opened the small window, and crawled out, tearing my shirt on the frame. I sprinted barefoot across the cold grass to my neighbor's house, pounding on the door like a madman. James, my neighbor, answered, confused and half asleep. When I told him what I saw, his face went pale. "You shouldn't have moved into that place," he whispered. "That house, it's got history. Bad history." He told me that years ago, a group lived there, a religious cult, obsessed with death and resurrection. They believed they could bring people back, not just their bodies, but their spirits too. James said he remembered seeing strange fires in the backyard, hearing chanting at night. Then, one day, they were gone. The house sat empty for years. James let me crash on his couch. I didn't sleep. I just stared at the ceiling, thinking about that thing in the yard and that black cross. But at some point, I must have dozed off, because when I opened my eyes, I wasn't on the couch anymore. I was lying on a cold concrete floor. My arms and legs were bound with coarse rope. The room was dark, except for a faint red glow from a bulb overhead. I couldn't scream. Something was stuffed in my mouth. I struggled, heart pounding so loud I couldn't hear anything else, until I did. Footsteps. Slow. Deliberate. Getting closer. Then I saw it. A figure emerged from the shadows, walking upright, but its joints bent the wrong way. It wore a robe, and in its hands, that same black cross. My blood ran cold. Behind it, others followed. All silent, one of them bent down and whispered in my ear, "Now you belong to him." And then, the chanting began. I screamed, but no one heard me. No one ever would. Second story, the night crawler in Hazel Ridge. They always said Hazel Ridge was quiet, peaceful. One of those small Texas towns where folks left their doors unlocked and waved at every pickup truck that rolled by. I moved here last fall, after my divorce, hoping to find that calm, a clean break. But peace doesn't come easy when you're sleeping with one eye open. It started 2 weeks ago. Around 2 in the morning, I woke to a sound. Not loud, not sudden, more like soft crunches, like boots dragging across gravel. My bedroom window faced the backyard, and I could hear it coming from right out there, beneath the dead oak tree. I laid there, frozen, holding my breath, straining my ears. Then, silence. The next morning I found footprints. Long, narrow, and deeper than any step I could make. Too long for a man. They started near the tree and stopped right below my window. I didn't sleep much that night. The following nights it came back, always around 2, always just walking, crunching the gravel, sometimes brushing against the porch railing. The wind never blew when it walked. The crickets stopped chirping. The air felt heavy, like something was watching. I installed motion lights, cameras, got my shotgun ready by the bed. But every time I looked at the footage in the morning, nothing, just blackness. The motion lights never went off, not once. Then last Friday, my neighbor Ben came over. Big guy, former Marine, lived 2 houses down. Said his dog ran off barking in the night, wouldn't come back. Later found him cowering under the shed, eyes wild like he'd seen something primal. "Something's walking out there," Ben muttered, rubbing his temple. "I heard it too. It don't sound right." That night, I stayed up, with the shotgun across my lap, porch light on, door locked, eyes fixed on the backyard. At exactly 2:05, the light cut out. Not flickered, just died. The power was still on, but that bulb, dead. And then, footsteps, louder this time, more deliberate. Crunch, crunch. I pointed the shotgun out the window, heart hammering. My breath fogged the glass, and something moved beyond it. A shape, tall, too tall, lean like a scarecrow but moving smoothly, unnaturally. Not a man, not any animal I've ever seen. I shouted, "Get the hell off my property!" It stopped. Then it turned its head. I swear it did. No eyes, just darkness where the face should have been. It didn't run, didn't flinch. It just stood there, watching me. Then it ran. Not away, but straight at the window. I fired. The blast lit up the yard for a second, and it was gone. No blood, no body. Just silence. Next morning, Ben's house was empty. Door hanging open, lights on, coffee still steaming on the counter. I called the sheriff. They searched for hours. Dogs wouldn't even enter the woods behind his place. And then I found the footprints again. Not just under my window, but all around the house, circling. I haven't slept in 3 days. I keep hearing it. Not every night, but often enough. And now, it's not just in the backyard. Last night, it walked across my porch. This morning, I found scratches on the front door. And now, it's 2:00. I just heard something. On the roof. God help me. Third horror story, whispers beyond the fence. It started with a creak, not loud, just enough to snap me awake. I sat up, heart thudding, ears wide open. Nothing. Not the wind, not the house settling, just silence. Our ranch house sat on the edge of Johnson Creek, Texas, way out where streetlights give up and shadows take over. It was just me and my dog Roscoe. Ever since Dad passed, it's been that way. Mom left years ago. I was used to quiet, but that night, that quiet was wrong. I got up, grabbed the flashlight, and peered through the window. My breath caught. The backyard gate, the one I always locked, was open, just slightly. Swinging. "Roscoe," I whispered, but he was already growling, low and steady, facing the door. I stepped back. My heart pounded louder than the wind now. I told myself it was the breeze. Maybe the latch came loose. I should go check it. That's all, just check. I slipped on my boots, called Roscoe close, and stepped out into the night. The air was thick, sticky, too warm for May. The flashlight beam cut through the dark, landing on the gate. It creaked again, slowly, like someone had just passed through. I reached it. The backyard stretched into the old cornfield, and beyond that, woods, dark, tangled, and forgotten. We never went there. Dad always said, "Ain't nothing back there but memories that don't rest right." That night, I remembered his words. Then I heard it. A crunch. Not mine. Not Roscoe's. Deep in the yard. I swung the flashlight. Nothing. "Hey, who's there?" I shouted. No answer. Just the wind. Then a whisper. "You forgot something." I froze. That voice. Familiar, but wrong. It sounded like Dad, but Dad was dead. "Hello?" I shouted again, voice cracking. Another whisper. "You left me." Roscoe barked and bolted, straight toward the woods. I ran after him, cursing, branches slapping my face. The beam bounced wildly until I saw him, frozen, growling, at a man. Or what used to be one. He stood at the tree line, wearing Dad's old flannel, but the skin, the eyes, empty. "Come home, son!" I screamed. I don't remember running. I don't remember dragging Roscoe back, but we made it to the porch. I slammed the door, locked it, nailed it. Every sound in my body was shaking. But then, knocking. Slow, heavy, from the back. Then again, from the front. I held Roscoe tight. He whimpered. I whispered, "Go away." Then the power cut. Total darkness. Footsteps. In the house. How? How? "I just want to come home." My father's voice. Closer. "Let me in. I never left." Something cold touched my neck. I turned. Nothing. But the door was open. Wide. Roscoe was gone. And then I saw the picture on the wall. The one from Dad's funeral. It had changed. He was smiling now, standing, next to me. I live in the house still, alone. Every night I lock every door, every window, every crack, but he still walks the yard. And some nights, he comes